like the future opportunities, which is there. I have to say that watching all the startups, all the presentations, the quality of the presentations, the quality of the Q&A session and the answers given by the startups, I really like them. I have to say that if we look at it in a progress dynamics for the maybe last even 1 year or 2 years, I have to say that there is a good progress. I really like it, and I think that it will be even better. In 2013, it will be better. In 2014, 24, I'm sorry, it will be even better. And I really believe in this nation, in this people, in this. So, yeah. Let me just finalize. I really believe in it, and I think that this will go in a very progressive way. Thank you very much. Sorry if I spoke a lot, but
No,
I have to say it. Otherwise, I couldn't sleep tonight.
okay. First of all, thank you for sharing. It was very important. And to you, startups, you were all kind of walking around looking for investors. So let me tell you that one of the responsibilities that our company itself is to bring us a variety of investors here. So don't look anymore. That's the person. Go pull his sleeve and take the list from him. Again, so thank you so much for your words. Definitely important. Yes, moving on. Lokman, your part.
Ladies and gentlemen, and dear children of the world, I want to start my sentence with Turkey likes like a Turkey likes pilot. I have to add this event because I'm a member of it's not something I'm a member of Turkish technology team, and also I'm a city Turkey likes. I have to add this event. And I'm very happy to be here because this is the first international takeoff event. And I know that because that is very important for these regions. If we count the most used words in 2 days, perhaps we will select the ecosystem word. And this event is very important for making an ecosystem. The ecosystem is important for only startups or for only investors, for also the corporate sector. The ecosystem is very, very important for corporate sector. For example, Igor said that we will meet before. We realized that we were together in Istanbul in 2015 in the Startup Istanbul events, in the Startup Istanbul Summit. This is not a first. We met people in like this event, and after 5 years, perhaps we'll do together sometimes, like us. Now we are 2 speakers. Here's takeoff. Name is very important. Takeoff because we start up. We will start with startups, and after that we want to make scale-ups, and after that perhaps unicorns and decathlons from this region. Baku and Azerbaijan is very, very important region for this region. Istanbul will want to be hub, and it's a critical hub for this region.
this place and stuff like that. So then if it is something that you want to do, I mean something for, you know, you want to do some changes, you want to do something cool, you want to do some impact. So startups is one of the best ways of making a big impact. But then you have to identify, do you want to make a local impact, you want to do a regional impact, you want to do a global impact. So that's another thing you identify. Also, startup is a lifestyle. So it is a style where, you know, you wear whatever you want, you talk the way you want to talk. I mean, you make your own schedule. You know, you act, I mean, like you desire yourself. To be honest, you're not dependent on anything. You're not on stable salary. You're not on, I mean, there's a lot of freedom. So that's very important for me. So when you bring those all together, my personal thing is to do something global, like something that can be remembered, can make a huge impact in the humanity, something that, you know, people will talk after I left.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the reason that drives me, wakes me up every morning.
Yeah.
So
I just want to remind the startups here running after investors, this being your own boss holds until you take the first manat from someone. This is when everything changes. Just bear it in mind. Once you got an investor, you got yourself a boss. Like it, don't like it, this is how it is. Bear it in mind. Tolga.
Can I add something? About
Yes,
this subject?
please. Just speak loud.
I'm sorry. Yes. For example, if a startup sell a product to a corporate company, the angel investors or the VCs listen them very much attentionally. So, as you say that it is very important that Turkish Airlines have a program, terminal.turkishairlines.com. If you have a product to sell Turkish Airlines, please find us. I want
Okay.
that stuff.
So maybe we can share it. We can share it after.
Yes.
Tolga, from your experience, Turkey as a country, what's the major efforts as a country did it do towards the startup ecosystem to push it up, to promote, to help? What were the major 1 or 2 steps for the ecosystem?
Okay. As I mentioned in my
Louder, speak louder.
okay.
Yeah.
As I mentioned in my opening speech, I said we have the ecosystem. We tried to build up the ecosystem 20 years ago. So the major need of the startups or the major needs of the ecosystem is basically the people, the educated people. I can say, but this will also take time. So starting in this point in Turkey, the law, the Teknofest law, which fired up the ecosystem, I can say, because we didn't previously have an ecosystem. So someone has to do this, and the only
So what you're saying, the government took steps on the financial side, on the taxation more, to promote it, to give those benefits, to give. That's what you mean?
Yes, but this is for the starting.
Yes.
Yeah, for the starting.
Okay.
But then the ecosystem start to build itself.
Any initial money given by the government to startups? Do you have funds for startups?
We have lots of funds in Turkey. I don't
Is
know.
it just for Turkish people or anyone?
No, for all startups. I mean,
So startups from
for
here can
startups,
take money?
the Azeri startups, I can say it. It's actually kind of interesting, but once I try to calculate how many supports from the government, and I add them up, and I reach like over 200 different supports, like grants. So basically, different. Like some of them are the call-based, some of them are open annually, like all year long.
Okay.
So there are lots of supports from the government, that like a grant kind of support. So it's some way it's good, but on the other hand, it can be a little bit confusing for the startups.
Let's keep it short for now. What you're saying is the government money, which is open to be taken by startups, not just from Turkey, so it means that others can come and join. We will explore it. Zaur,
As long as it's the Turkish company, of course.
Of
As
course.
long as if they,
Of course, there is always because.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Zaur, Kobia, what is the help? I'm an entrepreneur. I have an innovative idea, IT, okay? Tolga touched the subject of education. I would need workforce, number one. Is that anywhere to do with Kobia regarding technological education, number one? And number two, is Kobia promoting, and in what way, innovative ideas or tech startups for that matter? What are the actions that you do?
As a Kobia, today we have, as I said, two supporting programs. It's fully developed and implementing by us. First one is grant program, which we provide twice a year.
A grant program.
Grant program.
Money.
Yeah. Yes. And till today, about 30 startups received our grant.
30 startups.
30 startups, because we started just 1 year ago.
Okay.
And another program is startup certification program, which provides, according to this certificate, startup gets tax exemption for 3 years.
Okay, can you maybe mention the amount of money the grant is? How
It's
big?
about 20,000 manat, maximum amount
20,000?
per startup, yeah.
And is it like a gift?
Yeah, like Jeff.
They don't need to give it back?
No.
And they don't give equity?
No.
So it's like taxi money. It's nice, 20,000.
But for starting, for beginning, I think not bad, because before even before nobody doesn't run this type of program
Okay.
on behalf of government, you know.
Yes. So
Yes.
there are call-outs, you send out call-outs in the country and startups apply to this
Yes,
grants.
of course, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And I think this not enough. The amount and
Yes.
the quantity should be increased.
Yes. What needs to happen for this amount to increase? Can they do anything about it? Do they need to kind of unite and start shouting demonstrations or some, or what, really, what needs to happen for this to be 100,000, not 20?
No, of course, this is a policy-making issue, and today the key ministries and government should understand that the output should be taken only if we have any input. And the effectiveness of innovative developments is measured by quantity of money you spend, you know.
Okay.
Personally, me don't believe to idea that we don't have a now educated person, for example, in our country, because only in Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia today working 2,500 Azerbaijani programmers.
They are there. Why are they not here? Why did you go there?
Good question. And this question goes into the improvement of ecosystem.
Yes.
Improvement ecosystem. Also, it's policy making issue. Sometimes responsible agencies think that digitalization, they spend enough money, let's say, for digitalization, for internet, for network, but digitalization and innovation is different things. If
Yes.
if everything in country digitalized, it doesn't mean that the innovation will improve.
I want to stop on an interesting point that you said.
Thank
There
you.
are very talented Azerbaijani programmers living
Yes.
outside the country, working somewhere else, and not here. Okay, I think it's a point that we need to take. it's like that in every country. Let's just face it, okay? Also brave, like great ideas. I have someone next to you sitting there not looking at me because you know what I will say, that is not here currently and is done wonderfully. But what you see, they always return. It's important to remember. Everyone who was born in a country will always prefer his family, his language, his culture before going somewhere else. But it is an issue that needs to be sounded and can be dealt with. Very important issue. Okay, I'm not opening this now to discussion. I just gonna little move on. ABB, banks. We know that banks don't like one thing, risk. They like to fence the risk. How is it that a bank has an innovation program? He helps, grows by himself, startups. Why?
Very good question. When we look at ABB's exposure to startup ecosystem, we have to split it into two different dimensions. One from open innovation perspective. The second one is more on a core banking dimension. When we talk about core banking integration, yes, it is the risk is number one, is the security, the data protection, and all these procedures are of the top priority of the banks. However, if I touch upon a different dimension when we talk about open innovation, what ABB does in terms of supporting the ecosystem, developing the capacity for the country, I have to say that we started our journey with establishment and actually at the same, I will come to the same point, establishment of tech school.
So you have an academy?
Yes, we own an academy which was established 3 years ago. In this room you might find many graduates and students who are currently studying or have graduated from our school. We are very proud of them, and most of them, they are now participating or finding their own startups. So we started with this capacity building because, as you mentioned before, this is one of the key pillars of the success of the startup ecosystem. In a long run, you have to invest in capacity, because if you don't have a proper number of programmers, then you might not speak about that success that you are expecting. Maybe you can find, you can do like 100 accelerator incubators, different other grant programs, but if you don't have the proper capacity, it would be really difficult. This is where we started from.
Okay, I'm signaled that I need to really hurry up because they want to close the panel before we started. What to do, welcome to Azerbaijan. Can I use crypto in this country?
Crypto?
Yeah, Bitcoin. Can I'm in my country, I can pay with Bitcoin. Can I pay with Bitcoin?
No, as a
yes, no, yes, no, yes.
As a source of payment, no.
Yes, no. Why? Is it law, legislation? What is it?
It's still, I might say that it's in processing.
In process.
Yes. But it's more
NFT, something that you know? Like
again, as a person, you might use it, you might buy it or sell it, but as a mean of payment, no.
No, okay. Moving on, by the way, I don't recall out of the 50 a fintech startup. Am I mistaken? I don't recall there was a fintech. Maybe we should, I didn't see also cyber for that matter. No cyber, meaning Azerbaijan is protected, no problems with cyber. This is how it sounds here. Just putting a note, a lot of edtech. Even agro we didn't have, although this is a very strong country, agro. We do a lot of gas and oil, zero gas and oil here. So just understand, something is, Farid, something is weird here, no? I don't know. Okay, moving on. I'm sorry, I need to almost to close the panel. Yes. Anything you want to share from your side, T3, your experience?
I want to add something about making
Loud,
innovation.
speak loud.
I want to add something about making innovation ecosystem. For example, as a corporate company in Turkish Airlines, we have three stakeholders about making innovation. First, customers, our employees, and the startup ecosystem. These three stakeholders give us a lot of ideas about our innovation parts. For example, if you are a customer, you can use our LCD monitors in our airplanes as a giving innovation ideas. This is the first one. And also we have a lot of 30,000 employees. We can use everybody's ideas in our company. And also we have two programs. First of all is terminal accelerator program. All of the startups can apply this program and make Turkish Airlines as a customer. And also Invest on Board platform. Invest on Board platform is also our pitching monitors. You can watch the startup pitchings in our also LCD monitors in our airplane. We want to make an ecosystem, evidence ecosystem in our company, and as a startups, as a investors, as a banks, as a other parameters,
Yes.
we have to make a big ecosystem in this region and make this bigger and bigger. Thank you very much again.
Thank you. Igor, I mean, Ukraine, in a way, became kind of the outsourcing platform from, I think, most of the world.
Yeah.
And things are changing.
True.
No need to say names and whys. Before Igor answers, after Igor, I would like 2-3 sentences from each. Needs to be 2 or 3. Kind of your closing. Something personal, doesn't have to do with this day, okay? Something that you want to leave us with. 2-3 sentences, no more. Igor, what's the secret about Ukraine?
We're a poor country. We don't have any natural resources. We only have brains and talented people.
No, you have height, you have beauty, you have many things.
Many things. We're
Yeah.
blessed with that one as well. We have the richest soil, okay, yes, bunch of other things. But I think one of the key things why we actually succeeded specifically in the IT sphere was the heritage from the Soviet Union in terms of the education. It was a lot of technical, like R&D, all this kind of stuff. We were creating the rockets, the ships, airplanes, all these beautiful things. That's one. And second is that the economy itself was not that developed. People were not able to rely on Ukrainian currency, hryvnia. They were looking for sources of income of something stable, like US, etc. And then, and the economy itself, the GDP is not that big. Therefore, you can hire someone way cheaper in Ukraine. But the beautiful thing about the outsourcing in Ukraine is that now it's becoming the driving force for the startup ecosystem, which brings us. So like the people who are already like 8-7 years in outsourcing, the senior people, they're kind of like bored. They want to do something for themselves. They want to fulfill their ambition. When you ask the question to Farid, why the hell the startup? There are two things. Laziness of people, because people are like lazy species. That's one. Generally speaking, why the startups evolve. Second one is ambition. Why people want to build companies is because they want to, become wherever, like successful, independent, I don't know, whatever, famous,
Okay.
something. So, so the people from the IT companies, they now creating businesses. And the beauty of this part is that they're actually stealing their customers from the outsourcing companies, and they already have a good start. So if you look at the companies that evolve these days in Ukraine, those are the companies created by the senior people from IT companies. Previously, those were only created by the people who are from a bit advanced, opportunities. Say people who studied abroad, people of kids of diplomats and stuff. Right now, it's changing into more like mid-level, etc.
Okay.
That brings us to a point that we need to develop here not only the capacity in terms of the development, like tech development. So this is all great. We also need to start working on the mindset development and the soft skills development. So not only you need to first of all think about how do you make this sustainable business from day one, not just like to get the skills to build it or to name it. I have seen many cases when people stuck on like the name of the company. It just doesn't make sense. Like, you need to think about how to make it sustainable in the long run. So
Thank you.
we need to work, like in Azerbaijan, I believe, that's my kind of like
Yes.
overview of what's happening here. We need to already start thinking, how do we educate people from the early stage schools undergrads, before they actually go to the universities, how do they start thinking about entrepreneurship as a career choice? How do they develop those skills to actually form it as a sustainable businesses, etc. And then later on, you know, other things. But
Okay, Igor,
those are my
I need to
couple
stop.
things.
I'm doing the summary. 2-3 sentences of each, your own view. Farid, please go first.
Just in very shortly, I want to say that the region is expecting to have its first unicorn. So I just want everybody in the ecosystem to basically send positive energy, positive thoughts around this. And hopefully we will be able to see our first unicorn coming up soon. And then that should be able to pave a way for much more startups to understand that it's possible to build something big here. And that should be able to motivate more people, more investors. And that should be also motivate the government to take necessary actions to have more of those big startups coming up.
So unicorn, okay? We have something. Okay,
something.
Zaur, please.
As a Kobe, we will continue to run our 2 programs. Also, we will work strongly on improvement in legislative base and ecosystem involved to allow to generate more startups, more new ideas. You know, in the globalized world, there doesn't mean do you have technicians or programmers on some specific fields knowledge in your country. If you have idea, if you have design, you can reach to this knowledge anywhere in the world. And the second important thing is the good managing, innovative idea managing. Or approach that to develop in our young people these 3 things.
Okay.
Ability to generate idea, good design, and good manage.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Dolga. Quick sentences. Yes. Speak loud.
Okay. In marketing, there is a saying that half, the 50% of the spending goes to garbage, right? So in order to, but you don't know which part is going to the garbage. So you have to spend for marketing. It's like kind of analogically, but I want to say that in order to improve the ecosystem, there has to be programs, like all programs, in order to improve the ecosystem. So some part will go to garbage, like in marketing, but this will help the ecosystem grow, because ecosystem needs ecosystem will improve itself by doing over and over again, like the guys pitching here. Before they are coming here, they go to in front of a mirror and they pitch like times and times, and every time they improve themselves. So my opinion on that side, it's a new young ecosystem here, and I want them not to give up and do it over and over again.
Sure.
Doesn't matter it's bad or good, but this is my point.
Thank you. Zaur, please.
Yeah, maybe to sum up, I will quickly follow on my previous remark on what we at ABB are doing for the startups. We are actually running incubation programs, acceleration program. We have the Investor Cloud, which is facilitating funding. So for those maybe who don't know about it, we can discuss it later on. So this is one thing that I would like to say. Second thing, we will be successful. We as a startup ecosystem, there is no way that we will not succeed. There is just a question of how we're going to do it, with whom we're going to do it, and it's just a matter of time. I strongly recommend everyone to go out of your comfort zone, to believe in yourself. You will do it. You might, the last thing that I would recommend, you might think about being a unicorn, but please don't forget to enjoy the journey, because the startup, as one of the panelists mentioned, is a new mindset, and a new mindset of the lifestyle. Please enjoy the journey while you succeed.
Thank you very much. Yes.
As a result, as a written Teknofest startup event of the region. Yesterday and today we are 50. We listen to 50 startups and a lot of investors and more than 8 countries here. It's a big event, and I believe that we will see the successes in a new time, in an early time, and there's a good ecosystem here. I see. I am very happy with you, and thank you again.
Okay, thank you, Igor.
So I believe in this audience we have 4 types of different people, right? So entrepreneurs, investors, enablers, and corporates, as far as I can see, right? So I'm gonna give each one of them of like a small word, right? So for the entrepreneurs, guys, do not look at Azerbaijan as the main market. Start thinking big from day one. At least Turkey should be your a market to go. It's 80 million, is it?
About 80 million.
Yeah. So at least that one. So start already thinking about how do you actually build a solution that will be global enough for you for future. Because the main source and the main thing that we have is time. So start wasting your time on something small. Already start thinking bigger. That's for the entrepreneurs. Investors, you're gonna see a shortage of investment opportunities in this country for the next some time, right? So how about you go and try to co-invest with the others somewhere outside? Israel, Turkey, US, with Farid, with others. So start getting some knowledge and invest into yourself, into educating yourself and accepting those terms, understanding how this whole thing working. So by the time Azeri startups are mature enough and investable enough, you can be already of help for them. Not only helping them with money, but also with some smart things like connections, etc. For the ecosystem enablers, I would say you guys need to, you don't have to invent the wheel. Just look for the best practices that out there. Look at Israel, Ukraine maybe Turkey, some other places, adjust it accordingly. And maybe the main thing what I would suggest is that once you bring someone from abroad to run a program here, should it be acceleration program, incubation, whatever, make sure that you educate the locals on how to do that. So next year, you can do it yourself. So be lean in that way, right? You don't have to spend all the money in the world. You can be more lean in that and kind of like build capacity inside of the country so they stay here. And the corporations, well, disrupt or be disrupted and support as much as you can because you're going to evolve anyway. It's just a matter of time. The banks are already on the verge because this is one of the first industries that's being disrupted, but trust me, it's going to come to all of them. So the startups going to eat you all, even though they're small mosquitoes.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for listening, for being here with us. We're concluding this panel. Panelists, please remain seated. Thank you very much. Round of applause. And we are off to lunch, and we are returning here at 2:30. 2:30. So eating is somewhere here. I don't know. Almost 8 something. Great. Yeah, over there. Okay. Thank you very much. You're all free to go. You're staying here. Don't move. Can you put where's the camera? Can you zoom on the panel? Can you zoom on them? But to see all the panel. Because you need to take a photo, right? You say, okay? Sevinch. Take a photo. Try and zoom in. Sevinch, come closer. Come closer. It's fine. Don't worry. Great. Guys, you have food over there. Go and eat. You still need to introduce yourself, Savinch. Everyone knows who you are. Zahor, everyone.